January 30th. Every year the trust has to pay the actual interest to you by January 30th annually. Not just write it down, not just accrue it, actually pay it with real money to the trust bank account from yours. And if you miss that deadline, then all of the income that went to the kids gets taxed in your hands instead. And not just that for 1 year, for every year going forward. The structure is essentially dead. I've seen this happen. Someone does everything right for the first 3 years. February rolls around and they just realize that they forgot. It's too late. So put it in your calendar, set a reminder in December, make sure the payment is documented by a check, bank transfer, e-transfer, something with a paper trail that Sierra can actually trace. Now here's the part that changes everything. I ran this model across 4 different types of investments: interest, dividends, capital gains, and a blended mix. And one of them broke the strategy completely: capital gain. On $500,000 loan, if the trust is invested in stocks that go up in value, the trust strategy actually costs your family over $5,000 more than just investing it yourself. You read that right. You are worse off. The strategy backfires. Interest income, it saves you almost $12,000 a year. Works beautifully. Dividends, there's moderate savings, about $6,000, still worth it. But capital gains, you lose money. A blended portfolio, you save about $5,300 a year. It's okay, it's good, but not simple story that people sell you sometimes. So why does capital gains kill it? The government recently changed something called the alternative minimum tax rules. Here's what that means in plain English. The government runs 2 tax calculations side by side, a regular one and a minimum one. You pay whichever is higher. It's basically a floor for tax. Even if you have legitimate deductions, the government says you are paying at least this much in tax every year. For this strategy, the new rules do 2 things. First, they only give you the trust credit for half of the interest it paid to you. So even though the trust gave everything away, the government pretends that income is still sitting in there and taxes it at 20.5%. For interest income, there's a small hit, maybe $1,500 on the $500,000 loan, but you're still way ahead. But for capital gains, the new rules include 100% of the gain in its minimum tax calculation, not 50%, 100%. And that's what kills it. The minimum tax eats the entire benefit and then some. So the type of income inside the trust that you're earning is not a detail, it's the whole game. The strategy depends on it. So who should not do this? Number 1, if you do not have at least $200,000 to $300,000 in after-tax savings. On a $50,000 loan, the savings are only a few $100s a year. That does not justify the legal fees, the trust tax returns, the administration. The savings need to be much bigger to matter. Number 2, if your kids are not in low tax bracket, the whole point is to shift income from someone who pays less tax. If your kids are adults making $150,000 a year, the benefit shrinks dramatically. This works best with minor kids, such as your own kids or your grandchildren, or kids who are adults who are still in school and not making any income really. Number 3, if your portfolio is heavy on capital gains, I just showed you the numbers. If most of your returns is from stocks going up, the new minimum tax rules could wipe out the entire benefit. Or worse, it could cost you money. So you need to know what the trust is going to invest before you set this up. And I will add this: if you are a type of person who cuts corners, this strategy is not for you. This needs proper trust agreements, a proper loan document, annual tax returns filed on time, proper paperwork every year showing what you got, and that January 30th interest payment every single year, no exceptions. The cost of doing it right is small, but the cost of doing it wrong is enormous. Look, this is not a loophole, this is not a gray area. It is built right into the tax rules. CRA knows about it and they expect people to use it. Look, the problem is nobody talks about it properly. They either make it sound too simple or they do not mention at all. The truth is it works, but only if you understand the new rules, only if you pick the right investments, and only if you stay on top of the compliance and administration.